Hi, I am here with Jason J. Little from the short film Honorable, a brilliant piece. I'll kind of set the stage. We are transported to 1964, where Malcolm X has an encounter with his estranged mentee, Muhammad Ali. And we see this historical reimagining of the meeting of prolific Black voices that are Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Maya Angelou. It just felt like being in the presence of greatness. And this piece had me hanging on every word, especially knowing the impact of their choices at this time, 9 months before his assassination. Huge. So a lot to talk about here, clearly. But before we dig into the film, I'd really love to get to know you a little bit more, Jason, and about your acting background.
Okay. First off, thank you so much for seeing me. I'm honored to even be interviewed about a piece such as this. But I've been acting for a little over, I want to say about 17, about 15 years. About 15 years. It's so funny. When I first got into acting, my daughter was being born. So I was doing stage plays up at UMSL, which is the University of Missouri St. Louis, and that's where I kind of got the bug. Started off in theater and did some Shakespeare in the parks, and then I started getting into film probably about 7 years ago, and it just keeps me going. I love learning about different historic characters. This is where I get my literature. I never been a really heavy reader coming up, so me being able to step in and out of the different shoes of different people gives me perspective on how it may have felt to be these people. So
Mhm.
that's what I really enjoy about acting, and I just actually tomorrow I'm getting on the flight to Atlanta to go do a movie in it, and
Congrats.
so uh, things are starting to pick up, and this movie Honorable has been honestly, no pun intended, been an honor, to play someone like Malcolm X, which we share the same last name before he changed it to X. His name was Little before he changed it, so I was already, you know, I guess related to him in so many different ways. So yeah, it's a little bit about myself.
Very cool. And kind of fascinating to that your daughter, as she grows up, you can kind of track your own trajectory in the arts. That's lovely. Okay, so flash forward to Honorable. You first get the script. What are you thinking?
Oh my
What are you
God.
thinking?
First off, the script is brilliant. Mia Bible, it's like she took a time machine to go back and was into the minds of these people and what they may have been thinking. When I first read it off first glance, I was a little terrified. Um, I played Malcolm X on stage before, but on stage everything is much bigger. So it's like they get to sit back. It's not as intimate. So I was able to portray him a little better. It was more easy flowing. But film, everything is so intimate and settled,
Mhm.
all up in your face, and I didn't have the same like characteristics or physical characteristics as Malcolm X. He's like 6'4". I'm 5'10". He's a lot more lighter skin tone than me. So I was like kind of terrified as that. And I just really wanted to be able to deliver um,
Mhm.
for him. But once I got the script, I was like, hey, if you see me for this role, I'm gonna do it. And we end up doing it. And I was like, hey, I was really happy with the work. So to answer it in short, I was terrified, but when we got into it, I was like, okay, I can do this.
I can only imagine. It's lovely that you had the experience of playing him before, so you've done some of the work. But yeah, it's very intimidating to take on a prolific role, especially when it's captured on film. It's not that ephemerality of theater. It is very much in the moment, it's captured for all to see and is repeatable. So I think that not only were you believable, but you absolutely held your own. You gave a really moving performance. Um, so getting into this character, you've done it before in theater. What kind of work or research were you doing to get into him in that more intimate film way?
That is a great question. One second. One
Yeah.
second. I got to show you.
Oh,
So, the first thing I did, I went to go buy the autobiography of Malcolm X.
love an actor who does their research.
Yes, I read this probably twice.
Wow.
pretty thick. So I had to first get into his mind. He was being interviewed by Alex Haley, the guy that did Roots, um,
Okay.
the guy that wrote Roots. So it was an interview with Alex Haley, and Alex Haley actually wrote this book and was saying some of the things that him and Malcolm was talking about during the interview. So it gave me a real perspective on how he was feeling, even after he was like banned from the Nation of Islam and how he was just like fearing for his life.
Yeah.
So and the meeting, which was the stage play that I did for Malcolm X, pretty much took place right when he was being banned from the Nation of Islam and he was getting death threats and things like that. So I was able to wear that stress very well because I felt like, you know, I was him. Like I really did, because I know how he was feeling. Like he couldn't go to the cafe without kind of looking over his shoulder. Like anytime now somebody's going to assassinate me.
Yeah.
Like he was saying all the time, like I don't have long to live. Um, so me starting off, being able to experience the stage play and like how it was, me going into the film, which took place in Ghana, I had the mindset already ready for Malcolm X. So, and I think in the short film as well, Muhammad Ali is coming to Malcolm X where he was staying at in Ghana, like, hey man, like, you know, what's up? Like, hey, because I was trying to get Muhammad Ali to leave the Nation of Islam because of what they were doing,
Yeah.
and Muhammad Ali was faithful to them. So yeah, that's what I did. I started off here and I just watched countless videos, interviews from Malcolm X, and and I just let the spirit just lead me.
The research definitely paid off. And there's nothing like reading the actual person's words from their experience and being an open book, an open vessel to let those feelings kind of wash over you and empathize. So definitely worked out. And I could tell that all of the actors in the piece were just so grounded and in paying respects to these prolific people. So lovely. Another interesting thing I thought was your relationship with the actor playing Muhammad Ali, Zachary. So in the history of it, the pair was inseparable up until 2 months before this meeting, and they're alienated through religious organized distance. So you two had to play this lovely dance between having been so close and having that shared history, but then it's fractured. I'd love to hear more about how you and Zachary explored that balance because it vibrated so brilliantly throughout the scenes.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that read good on screen.
It
Well,
really did.
thank you. First off, Zachary Clark is one of my best friends. We've been knowing each other for a time. That stage play that I told you about, where I played Malcolm, he was playing Martin Luther King, and
So
that
cool.
we
So
yeah, so we worked together in that sense. So it really wasn't hard to play off of him because, like I said, we're friends in real life.
yeah.
And, I guess the aspect of him playing a different character and me still playing the same character, um, I guess it kind of took some getting used to because, of course, the dynamics between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King is different from Malcolm X and
Yeah.
Ali. So I kind of had to shift how I responded
Yeah.
in a different character. So that was a little challenging, but not much because, like I said, I know the person that's playing this role. It was an awesome journey. Just being able to do stuff with your friends for
Oh
one.
my goodness. I wish all directors would start hiring friends. It's like, yeah, people are great actors, but there's nothing better than genuine, honest chemistry and trust and being able to kind of push each other's buttons, push each other to different territories and know, yeah, you have that trust there. So much less work is necessary. So I love that you got that experience. And that's so funny. Let's just meet while we both play greats of history all the time. No small roles for you two. That's awesome.
And Zachary Clark did a phenomenal job as Muhammad Ali. Like,
Very much so.
I'm like, hold on, is that him? Is that like cadence, his voice, his tonality, like all of it. And
Yeah, it blew me away, both of you. Okay, so in filming this, I'd love to hear about your experience. It seemed like a really cohesive, clear vision. I'd love to hear like what you all talked about before filming this. And I guess, yeah, what was the experience?
Um, Before filming it, we did a few table reads. I think we did it on Zoom. At the time. We did it around COVID.
Ah, the joys.
We did it around COVID, which was so unheard of.
Yes.
Like it's the whole industry, the film industry, independent Hollywood shut down, right? Nobody wanted to catch this. So that was interesting within itself
Yes.
during COVID. So we were really fearless to do this. Felt like non-essential workers. You
Yeah. Maybe that added some nice danger and texture to the work too. Who knows?
Yeah. So doing it around that period was insane. But the process of doing it and Nikosi, our cinematographer, which captured that period so well.
My
I
goodness.
mean, we were in 2020, 2021, 2020, and he was able to capture the nostalgic, time
Yeah.
line 1962, 63, 64, you
Wow.
know, so that was really interesting to see. And of course, we couldn't have modern cars in the background, right? So I believe Mia had hired someone to bring like a old school 1950-ish car just to sit in the background. So being able to see us like, put this whole time period together was so fun to watch.
I think that's what really sold me on the piece too, where I just was fully invested because it was transportative. The dialect work that you all did, the costuming, it being in black and white, it really did whisk me off to this time, and I was like, oh, this feels exciting. That I feel like I actually am seeing these people in this time period. What
Oh,
was your reaction when you saw the film?
it was, oh my goodness. I was just, and then you said costume. I'm so glad you said that.
Yes, I love to hear about how costuming changes
Uh,
things.
LaThomasina Clark, which is, I call her my film mom. She played my mom in the film.
Oh,
Um, also the mother of the guy that played one of Muhammad Ali's bodyguards, which is
cool.
another good friend of mine. So Jazz Tucker's mom, LaThomasina Clark, she did the wardrobe, which really put us in that period from like the dashiki thing that,
Yeah.
had on and everything that Muhammad Ali had on and the cane that I had. Like she got that from Ghana. So we're in St. Louis acting like we're in Ghana. I had a cane that was in my hand that was actually from Ghana that
That's
that she that
epic.
gave to us and loaned to us. So that puts you in that time period within itself when you're able to put on those clothes. You're
Yeah.
no longer Jason Little or Zachary Clark in 2020. You these people in 1964. So that helped out tremendously. So shout out to LaThomasina Clark.
Very
Uh,
much so.
so yes, that all of those things coming together really helped us, stay in that moment.
Yeah, it's whatever you can get to center you in it, especially having a prop like holding something, where you're like, yes, okay, and it affects how you move through the world. Very cool. So I thought one of the lovely themes throughout the piece was that idea of loyalty. And I guess the cost of loyalty. So we see the loyalty between the two men, but we also see the loyalty towards religion and towards ideology. I was wondering if you had any conversations about this or some of your reflections on this as you were filming.
Did we talk about this? I mean, we definitely did talk about like, okay, how we let quote unquote, I guess, religion, separate our friendship and which one is more holds more importance, right?
Yeah.
Um, so of course, in the film, it shows that Muhammad Ali may have chose that religion, right, over the
Yeah.
friendship
Yeah.
because loyalty to God, which is the supreme loyalty. That's God is the reason why we're here, right? So, and Malcolm X, he felt hurt by it, but it's like, okay, but you have proof that the guy that was leading this religion was doing some wrongdoing, and they got a hit out for Malcolm X's life.
Yeah.
So, is that still, same like God that you want to serve, and they're looking to take out one of your best friends. So of course, in the film, Malcolm X is extremely hurt. But
Yeah.
it also it also revealed to me that, the mindset can't be changed, right? So like if your belief is something like that's what it is, right? You can never sway someone from their ultimate belief, and if you love them, you'll let them, just do, what it is they do,
Yeah.
so that's that. So we kind of talked about that, like how religion does hold a high importance in individuals' lives.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that was a really lovely reflection. Thank you. So when this film seems to have a life of its own, like it's still continuing out there. I know this is something that as soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm so glad I got to see this film and suggested it to quite a few people. What has the reaction been from people upon seeing the film?
Like I was so overwhelmed. Mia Bible, she had created a reaction video. It was in a international film festival, and I
Amazing.
viewed it online. And they recorded all of their responses and everything. I mean, they were professors, students, just general public, and they all just like enjoyed it. They were just like, "Wow, this is an indie film." you
Yeah,
know,
I couldn't believe it. Honestly, the production quality was just through the roof.
Yeah, it's just overwhelming. And I really do appreciate it because to be a independent artist, for one, it's extremely hard. To get funding, it's hard to even get people to watch it, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's not going to the movie theaters, it's not showing up on Netflix. So
Yes. Is it on Netflix?
Netflix, if it ain't on Netflix, I'm not watching it, right? It's hard for me to get family to watch stuff that I'm doing. So um, really, really, it
Yeah.
really is. I mean, so you just feel the joy just doing the work, and you putting all your time into something people really appreciate it, and it's really impacting how they see the world or how they see some historical figures, and we have something to do with it, by the grace of God. Like I'm
Mhm.
thankful for God for even giving me the gift that I can, put this guy's hat on for a second.
Yeah.
It's definitely a skill set, and I just appreciate it. So yeah, we've been getting some really great feedback from.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that. It's very well deserved.
Thank
And
you.
you're telling me that you're hopping on a flight tomorrow for a new project. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Uh, I don't know how much I can say about it. I don't know how much I can say about it, but um, actually, it's so crazy. So the producers, they found me in another film. He said he couldn't remember the name of the film, but he saw me in another film playing along the side the guy that they wanted to cast for the role. And I cannot make this up.
Classic.
And he said he saw me in his role. It was so like just like he said it was so authentic. And it seemed like I wasn't like acting. And he's just like he hit me up on Instagram. He told me about the story. And I was just like, yes, yes. And he told me who was directing, and I was like, oh yes. And because he,
Double yes.
and he's somebody that's kind of known out there in Atlanta, and I was aware of the guy, and they bought me a flight, and I'm heading out tomorrow. I was like, thank you God, because I kind of been sitting. I've been working my regular gig for a while, so
Yeah.
time to break it up and do the stuff that I really want to do. So I'm so excited about it, and yeah, I'll be filming all week, so I'll be in Atlanta for a week.
Wow,
So
that's so exciting. Congratulations. It's always when you least expect it, right? It's these strange, yeah, somebody messaging you on Instagram and it turns into something so much more. So the joys, but also the joys of the industry, but it's also quite the roller coaster sometimes. Well, congratulations.
thank you so much, thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you today, and I'm hoping that we get to talk to you in the future about some other projects. Maybe this next one will be out there in the world, and we can chit chat about that as well.
Maybe, maybe. Thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you. This is a phenomenal interview. Like the questions was really, really had me thinking. They were
Oh,
really
good.
pointing.
Because
Yeah.
you got me thinking for sure. As soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, so my brain is percolating all kinds of things I want to chat about. So thank you for your gift and sharing it, and continue to do so, please.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Talk soon, hopefully.
Talk soon. You have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, you too.